Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at two essential features in Search Console. That is the indexing pages report and the URL inspection tool, which we can use both kind of working in harmony to troubleshoot problem pages. Okay, so a really useful feature, if we go down to here on the indexing tabs, if you click on pages, it gives us information about what's indexed and what's not indexed. And on the surface, that can be quite alarming because you see a big number of not indexed pages and a small number of indexed pages. But really, there's probably a lot of valid reasons for why those aren't being indexed. If you scroll a little bit further down, you'll see reasons why Google has chosen not to index those pages. And a really important thing to differentiate between is the source of those reasons. So that might be the website or it might be Google systems. Now, the website might relate to things such as exclusions by no index tags, like you can see here, as well as redirects. So valid reasons. One of the things we might want to look at is, do we want these no index pages actually not indexed? But really, one thing to have a look at is some of these issues down here. So we can see currently there's a discovered currently not indexed page. And what you can do is click through to any of the URLs that are affected, and it will give you a little bit of a breakdown. You can find out more about why these might have been not indexed. But if you scroll down, it'll show you the URLs. You can see our 404 pages are fine there. And then we've got this rogue URL, which appears to not be indexed. Now, what you can do is actually click through to a URL, and it'll allow you to test robots and inspect URL, which leads us nicely onto our next aspect of Search Console, which is the URL inspection tool. Now, you can click through from here, or you can use this search bar at the top. So what I can do is copy the link there. You'll see there's some icons here where you can open up the page or inspect it. But I'm just going to go through this way for now, just to show you. So you give it a moment to populate and retrieve information, and it will give you information about kind of why it's not been indexed, as well as where it's been discovered from. And this might be useful if you find that there is no referring page, it's not in a sitemap. That could be a reason why it's not indexed. But as you can see, they haven't given us a clear reason as to why this hasn't been indexed here. So what you can do is use this request indexing tool. It's manual, you can only do them one at a time, but it's very useful if you've got a rogue page that is just, for whatever reason, Google haven't got around to crawling and indexing it. So you can do that there. What we can actually do is, if I just go, I'll use this one as an example, just using our SEO page. So what you can do is get live information around a URL as well. So you can see this URL is on Google, it's indexed, but if you click the drop down, it'll give you a bit more information about when it was last crawled, what kind of bot type it was crawled with, and any kind of information around structured data. That'll appear down here, so you can see whether or not a page is working as intended with your structured data. Now, if you're checking something and you're seeing different information in here in Search Console versus what's in the results pages on Google, you can test the live URL, and this will just give you live information about that URL. Google doesn't necessarily report back on things instantly. In Search Console, usually there's a bit of lag. So what you can do is test a live URL and get the most up-to-date information, including any fixes that you might have employed. So just on that page, it said it had last been crawled on the 9th of September, so it's a couple of days ago when recording this, but we might have made some changes to that, so we can use this to check and see what's working and not. It can take a bit of time, so just give it a moment. Hopefully it's gonna come on, Google, you can do it. There we go. Right, so you can now see it's tested on it the 11th of September, and we've got the latest information about that tested page. So really useful. So in conclusion, Search Console's indexing page reports and the URL inspection tool are really indispensable for optimizing your search performance. They provide really good insight into indexing issues, whether or not you can track your improvements and changes that you make, and it can offer real-time information about individual URLs. So really useful whether or not you're managing a small blog or a large e-commerce site. They can make a significant difference in understanding what Google can see on your site. Thanks for joining us. Hope that's been useful. Stay tuned for more advice and reach out if you need any help. Thanks.